Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to Tami's Corner. And we have a wonderful show for you today. We're going to be talking about women in the 21st century. And we have some in-studio guests with us here today that I'm just going to have them basically introduce who they are and what they do. So we'll start with the young ladies that we have here. Go ahead.
My name is Rachel. I'm a CFUS graduate. I graduated with a psych degree back in 2014. Currently working as a marketing manager and an equipment funder for a commercial lending company.
All right, next.
And then I'm Jasmine. I'm a recent graduate from UC Davis up north. I happened to play D1 softball up there, and now I'm down here back working at home, and I'm a contract administrator.
Okay, so what's D1 softball?
It's just, we played softball, so we play, teams from all around the country, so yeah.
Okay.
It's a big deal now these days.
All right.
Softball is becoming more and more popular as time goes on, I think.
All right, so you think you're going to do that, nationally? Or?
No, I'm done. I'm going to work now.
Make some money.
Yeah.
All right. So, and?
All right, my name is Tony. I'm a young black entrepreneur and also an up-and-coming real estate agent in the Los Angeles area.
Okay. And you do much more than that. You manage your mom.
I help my mom with her radio station, of course, this radio
social
station. Social media, building websites, you name it.
Yes. So I'm really excited to have these young women here with us this morning. They could have been anywhere else on a Saturday morning, but they decided to come in on Tami's Corner. So I'm going to start off with a question. What does self-care mean to any of you ladies? And anyone, feel free to just jump in and tell me, what do you do? What is a 21st young woman in this century? What do they do for self-care? Can you...
I know for my sister and I, we spend a lot of time together. So and having a sister helps me, and that's where I take care of myself and take care of her because we bounce things off of each other. We talk about things, boys, work, school. It's funny because we go out and people are like, are you guys ever not together? And we're like, no, we're always together. So, just having that relationship in itself has helped me help myself because, one, I'm like, when I'm in a situation, I find myself, one, either asking her how to react, or two, telling her, okay, maybe we should have reacted differently in a way that I would have reacted because, in certain instances, my sister is more level-headed, and sometimes I'm not so much. Sometimes I'm more emotional than she is, so sometimes we'll bounce things off of each other. We spend a lot. We go hiking, we go to the gym, we go to the beach, we do a lot of things together, and that's kind of our safe place. Even with our mom, we're always with our mom too. So it's the three of us together against the world, and that's kind of what we do to wind down from our week.
That sounds like a balancing act.
Right.
Can you give a scenario like how she might be the plus and you might be, leaning more towards the opposite end? So give an example, so that maybe a young sister out there that, and meaning it might be some sibling rivalry. And how can they get past that? Because you do get past it.
Right.
We all have it. So.
Right. At some points, because I am the younger sister, so she does want to come in and try to mother me and stuff like that. But also because I went to school, so I felt like I grew up so much away from home. I was away from home for 4 years, so
wow.
I learned a lot being off by myself. So
right.
And I just think she doesn't realize how much I learned, and I wouldn't either because we didn't spend that much time together.
Right.
But luckily now we're spending a lot more time together, so
right.
we're starting to learn each other more and
right.
better. Because
right.
I was gone for 4 years, and she was an only child at that point. So now we're reconnecting and learning what each other and we both like or don't like.
Your quirks.
Yeah, and how we work together and how we work together in the adult world now.
Right. So how was that 4 years for you being away? 4 years for you not having your sister at home.
It was hard.
And it was you guys, just mom and you.
It was hard.
Right.
It was different. We went through a lot of family changes. Again, my sister and I had to get reacclimated to each other.
Right.
Her living back at home,
right.
sharing a bathroom again. Those are huge things.
Sharing the bathroom.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yes.
It's huge.
Yes.
But basically, I think we just missed each other so much. She I turned 21 without her. She turned 21 without me. So now I take her out to do things that she didn't get to do here.
Yeah.
And she'll even take me back. We just got back from Davis last weekend.
I heard.
She takes me to experience things up there because I went to school so local that I didn't have to do anything. I drove 15 minutes to school every day.
Okay,
so
okay.
Cal State Fullerton's more of a commuter school more than anything else. And, you know, I envy my sister because she did get to go and go away and spread her wings and you know, trial and error.
And I'm going to add you in, Tony, really quickly because I have an older daughter that's in college away in another state. Same thing, 4 years away, and one that's local. And that dynamic, trying to keep the two, you know, together, because it's hard. So how do you Tony, want to come in and say, like, you know, working with being over here, your sister being far away, and I have a younger daughter who's actually in high school.
Okay.
So it's not as bad that she does have another sibling here.
That's true.
However, the one that's 4 years, you know, she's been in another state. Well, she did 4 years in one, like in Atlanta, at Clark University, and then So she started off at Clark University, and then she transferred to Georgia State. And Georgia State is where she graduated from. And then because of her academic standing, she actually progressed to Case Western University in Cleveland. So then she has her sisters that are here. So I'm saying I'm picking up the same type of dynamic where one's being in another state and one's here. So, I mean, how is that with you know, Bree and you and Zena and you being a sister here, like, kind of interject?
I'll be honest, it's hard because sometimes I yearn for that sister connection and she's so far. Like, most times I really do miss my sister. I miss us arguing sometimes. I miss her stealing my clothes. Like, just a bunch of different stuff. And even though she is far away, she's very busy, and like, I applaud her for even taking the step to even leave California and do it on her own. It actually motivated me even more as her younger sister to want to push to do something for myself. So I always look at her as, I guess you can say, a good role model. She's a real good role model. She is for me.
So is that like what's happening with you two, with one being away and one being at home? I mean, is that...
When Jasmine was in school, we talked every day. We probably talked more than when she was home, honestly. We talked every day, all throughout the day, about what's going on in my life, what's going on in her life, how we should handle things, or what's going on with mom, what's going on with dad, the dogs, anything and everything.
Also, like, I mean, since I was away and I didn't have my sister, I went to my friends more often, I think, because, like, I know I've had a couple, like, great best friends at school that, like, they were my sister at school. So, like, I didn't try to replace her, but, you know, like, you still have that bond with someone. Like, you can go to them. Like, we hung out all the time. Like, we go to class together, come back to class together, eat together, watch TV. So I had someone there with me all the time, no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to we're going to look at a quick clip. The one we're going to look at. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to go back into self-care. And so I want you to give some examples of what you do primarily for self-care.
Yeah.
For me, self-care is all about me time. So whether it's I try to take care of myself. Whether it's you know what, I deserve this. I worked really hard this week. You know, I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to go on a hike by myself. I'm going to go on a bike ride, 10, 15 minutes, those sorts of things. It's really important to make time for yourself, get in your own headspace and, you know, kind of just evaluate, reassess, and rejuvenate, recharge your batteries, those types of things.
And then for my self-care, I go to the gym a lot. I go to the gym, like, every day. Since I was an athlete, I keep up with that. So, I mean, that's how I get
your self-care.
Yeah, and that's how I get everything out. Like, relax, you know, jump on the treadmill, jump on the Stairmaster, and just all comes out right after that. After work, and it's the best thing. Makes you feel way better. Okay.
So we're going to show a quick clip real quick of how Tony does self-care. It's really quick. He's cute.
Oh, my dress!
So that was really quick. That was a day at the beach here in Southern California, and that's why I kind of went into self-care. Like, what does each person do? So, what was that like for you, Tony, at that time?
It was a big stress reliever. To be honest, I grew through so much on a daily basis, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to build my business up, trying to build myself up, trying to stay in alignment with God, always trying to check myself, remind myself, be nice to others,
So you're holding yourself up to really high standards.
Yeah, I am. And sometimes, I do put a lot of pressure on myself. And the best way, like she said, working out, going to the beach, bike riding. I love karaoke. I love karaoke. Anybody that knows me, I love karaoke. So that's like one of my other big stress relievers for me. So being active is one of the best things for me. So
basically. Mm-hmm. So do any of you go to the beach? Do any of you swim?
No, I wouldn't say I'm a swimmer.
Okay.
But we do go to the beach often. I mean, we go down to Main Street all the time and chill and hang out with our friends down there. So it's still fun.
Good. Fantastic. So then we have another clip that we're going to show like a couple of minutes of it, and then we're going to come back with Q&A. Okay.
In this world, there are a lot of things that are beyond our control. But what you do have control over is how you react to whatever happens in your life. What I now know is that we all become exactly what you believe. So if you believe that you can do all things because you have been endowed by a power from on high, given to you by the grace of God, if you believe that, you walk into the world understanding that whatever problems you may encounter, you still have God to lean on. As I grew, my perception and understanding of what God means grew with me. I expanded my view of what it means to be a citizen of the universe, to be a part of the energy field that is omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing, and all-present in all things. And so my confidence comes from knowing that there is something greater than myself, that I am a part of and is also a part of me. I call that God, but I do nothing without that understanding. How I think one masters one's life is to understand that you are co-creating that life with the ultimate creator. Not understanding that puts you at your own pitiful, meager little will. And everything is left up to you. And you can't do it. You cannot survive in this world by yourself, just believing in yourself. You're not big enough to do it.
Yes. Okay. All right, we're going to come back in, and I just want to open this up to anyone on the panel, and you can jump in. What matters to you? What matters?
Family. My mom, my sister, my dad. They're very important to me. My sister more so because we're 15 months apart. I feel like we've never really been away from each other other than when my sister was at school. But basically, a lot of times when I do things, I'm thinking about my sister. I'm thinking about how it's going to affect her, how it's going to affect us. That relationship to me is very special and sacred. I've always been motherly towards her. She's like she said. I look out for her and do things, and sometimes I overstep, I admit, but yeah, my sister.
And for me, I think God is a big part of life today. So there's so many challenges that are thrown at you, and like, especially we're so young, I feel like we don't know where we're going. Like, we don't have a certain path in life, but God is like, no matter what you're doing, God is leading you that way. And I think, especially for me, like, I was looking for a job when I came home. Like, it was a struggle, I'm not going to lie. Like, it's really hard to find a job, especially so young, and I never worked before. I was always playing softball. So that was a real struggle for me. So, like, I got down on myself if I didn't get one, or down on myself if they said no. But, like, I knew God, like, gave me a path. And, like, it's funny, I worked somewhere else for about 3 months or so, and they happened to be, like, shutting down that side of their business, and So I had to leave. I had to go find a new job. And the job I have now, I love and I adore it. It's the best thing ever. So I was like, you know what? God did that for you. Like, he knew you were struggling, so he put you this way and led you on a different path. So that's one big thing, I think.
And don't you find it, I think it's crazy, like, when you're in school, the expectation, there are many expectations upon graduation.
Right.
But the expectation that once you finish the skill sets, or you're just going to jump into this great paying job.
It doesn't work that way.
It's a misnomer.
No.
Yeah, it does not work like
Because
that.
I was telling my friends the other day, or talking to my friend, and I was like, nothing you do in life, not softball, not school, nothing prepares you for adult life.
Yes.
Adult life is completely, it's just so big, so rare. Anything could be thrown at you and you don't know what to do. It's just way different than I ever expected. I'm not gonna lie.
And it's different because I saw her go through that, and my heart was broken. It's like, oh, what do you do? How can you fix this or make it better for her?
Right.
But you can't. I mean, I left school. I went to school as a psych major. I'm doing nothing with that degree right now. But I mean, and you try out different avenues. I tried. I applied and got my CBEST, and I passed that. So I have that in my back pocket, and all these sorts of things. I wanted to work in a school district, and that just didn't end up happening. I started off as an admin assistant, and I got there, and they were just throwing things my way, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to tackle this to the best of my abilities. I have to believe that in myself, and I have to believe that I went to school, I was given the tools, and maybe not for the specific job that I'm doing, but I was given a basic skill set. So I need to use that skill set in this job and see what I can do and take myself to the next level. And, you know, then from an admin assistant, I just started doing marketing and equipment funding. And these are things that I'm still struggling with every day, but I'm taking the challenge as it comes to me. And it's one of those things where you can't get down on yourself because you're not ending up where you felt like you should be.
Right.
You're going to end up where you are
supposed
meant to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's very true.
You know what I hear? I hear that you, at a very young age, are consistently reinventing yourselves. You figured that out already. A lot of people get stuck in a box. And they like to put God in a box as well. But so glad that he's forward thinking, and that's why we're here today, basically, to try to, shed light on, there are many avenues, many paths for a lot of us. I nowhere in my wildest dreams would I've ended up here.
Right.
Nothing would have told me that I would have been here and sitting down and interviewing other people on the opposite side of of here, actually. So anyway, is there anything that you want to say, Miss Tony?
I mean, I would have to agree with what both Rachel and Jasmine said. Yeah. God is a big part of my life. So is my family, especially my mom. My mom has been my rock. She's, what I'm saying? But no, she's really been the rock in all of my sisters' lives. She's been our big motivator, our encourager. I mean, she was prepping us from when we was like babies. As soon as we popped out, she was all like, all right, this is how the game goes.
I think it's important. I'm sorry, babe, and I know you're going to talk, but I think it's important. From the time they were in elementary, I gave them goals. I gave them goals, and I said, hey, what? Give me some short-term goals, and some long-term goals. And then I noticed that, they would come home and say things that were really, really great and super califragilistic, and I'd say, you know what? Tell me how you're going to get there. That was the other step. So you told me your goals, but how are you going to get there?
That's true.
And so literally, I mean, and life, like I said, it isn't a straight line.
It's very curved.
I know. Of course.
We've had many challenges, But the thing is, like you said, you keep reinventing yourself. You just keep on going and pushing forward. So right now we're going to go back into this clip really quickly, and we'll keep stopping it from time to time.
I'm not big enough to do it. Nobody's big enough to do it. You have to understand that your very presence here as a human being on Earth came from something greater than you. And not just your parents who wanted to have a child. The fact that that egg was hit by that particular little sperm in that particular moment, and you were created. Wow. How amazing is that? Of all all the different choices that had to happen in order for you to be here now. What a celebration that is. So when you recognize the mystery of that creation, all the circumstances that had to configure and reconfigure themselves, all the questions that we don't have answers to, you have to know this: the fact that I'm here matters. And the fact that you're there matters. This is no accident. None of us are.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you really quickly. I'm stopping it kind of choppy, but what is your purpose? Has anybody figured out what their purpose is in life? Have or even got an inkling, that, hey, you know what, I'm being drawn towards this particular industry right now, or this is seeming like it's my passion. This seems more like a destiny move for me. I don't know if in fact, some people are born automatically, like Michael Jackson knew,
Right.
from birth,
Yeah.
he was going to be a dancer. I have a sister who knew automatically from birth she was going to be a nurse and ended up being a nurse, retired from nursing. Everybody doesn't know, but
I feel like not so much knowing where I'm going, but I'm finding out what I don't like,
That's true.
that's good.
which is
That's
even
good.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I know-
very awesome.
I know in my heart and soul. I mean, we do sales at my place, and I've dabbled in doing a little bit of everything at my job, and sales is probably not one of the things that I'm going to
It's not for us.
get into.
All right.
Or be fantastic at. You know what I mean? It's not so much. It's great for other people. I watch other people do it. I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. But that's just a skill set that I just do not have.
That's okay.
And you know what I mean? So I think a lot of times it's not so much finding your calling, but it's also finding out what you're not good at, what you don't like,
That's
and
perfect.
those types of things, because that's also important.
It is.
Don't just fall into something because you just happen to be good at it. I don't want to just be good at something. I want to be great.
Right.
And
Did you have something?
Oh, well, I'm thinking of my job now, and I'm a very hard-working person, and at my job, I get contracts thrown at me left and right, and I just punch them out. And honestly, that makes me so happy. Once I get it done, I'm like, whew, if you feel accomplished. So
Right.
anything like that, and so I know I'm in the right path. I don't know if I'm there or, at the end, but it's something where I just work, just basically just sit down and go. That's how I feel. And so I'm doing that now, but I don't know if this is where I want to be in the end.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, I want to piggyback off what Rachel said, but I totally agree with what she said, though. I'm at the growing stage right now where I'm learning what I don't like, what I will accept, what I won't accept, and even waiting patiently for God to show me where exactly, or, just my decisions, my decision making. I always pray and ask God, if this is for me, if this is where I'm supposed to be, if this is a part of your will, then, go. I'm all for it, But also on top of that, I like to make better judgment decisions. I don't want to, like you said, put myself in a position knowing I can't handle it, or later down the line, I'm not going to like it, or it's just an issue. So that's where I'm at right now, too, just learning what I don't like and what I will accept and what I won't.
I will tell all of you that that even for your age and my age and beyond, I don't think that you ever get past that.
My dad says he's 45, and he goes, I'm 45, and I still don't know what I want to do with my life. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel as bad. I'm 23. I'm not there yet, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I got time to grow.
Because over the lifetime, you may have, they say about 5 careers, technically. And the whole thing is about making sound judgment, having sound judgment. Hey, knowing when to cut something off and knowing when to go ahead and pursue it. That's a growing thing. That's something that we have to continuously learn. So we're going to go back into the clip and back.
People notice. When you do your best, people notice. And so wherever you are, always do your best. And doing your best puts you at the next level. Nothing about my life is lucky. Nothing. A lot of grace, a lot of blessings, a lot of divine order. But I don't believe in luck. For me, luck is preparation meeting the moment of opportunity. There is no luck without you being prepared to handle that moment of opportunity. And so what I would say for myself is that because of my hand and a force greater than my own, I have been prepared in ways that I didn't even know I was being prepared for. And the truth is, for me and for every person, every single thing that has ever happened in your life is preparing you for the moment that is to come. A lot of people don't know their purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, your immediate goal is to figure that out, because otherwise you're just wandering around here. So the moment you can figure out what it is you're supposed to be doing, the sooner you are able to get about the business of doing that. The universe speaks to us always, first, in whispers. And a whisper usually in your life feels like, that's odd. Or, that doesn't make any sense. Or, is that right? It just really feels like that. It's that kind of subtle. And if you don't pay attention to the whisper, it gets louder and louder and louder. And I say, it's like getting thumped upside the head. You don't pay attention to that. It's like getting a brick upside your head. You don't pay attention to that, the brick wall falls down.
Okay, so have any of you had one of those moments where it's been challenging or obstacles that you've had to overcome?
I mean, being an athlete, I played softball throughout my whole life. In my, say, sophomore year, like, that's when I guess we start looking at colleges, where to go. And that was honestly a big challenge. And, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was so young. I had no idea what school I wanted to go, if I wanted to go cross country, if I wanted to go, say, local or anything like that. But luckily, UC Davis, they wanted me my sophomore year or so. And I was like, no, I don't want to go up north. Like, I don't want to go there. And then, you know, I kept going on. I kept playing softball. And then they came back around, like, maybe a year or two down the line. And then they were, like, offered me again. And they were like, you should really come to Davis. And I was like, maybe it's a sign that I should go there, you know. Like, they stuck around since the beginning. Like, they've been watching me for such a long time. And honestly, going to Davis was probably, like, the biggest accomplishment of my life. It's such a great school. I loved it. I think I learned so much up there, and, like, I wish I could go back, but I have to, you know, start my life. But, like, going to Davis prepared me for as much as it could have to go into the adult world. So
Fantastic,
yeah.
Jasmine. I applaud you. I'd also like to throw another question out there. What has been whispering to any one of you at this point? What has been whispering?
Either you're going to do it or you're not.
You care to elaborate?
Actually, at this point in time, I go to Judas Lion Community Church, and right now we're learning about the fruits that God gives us, and we're learning about our spiritual gifts. And a major part of that is, I don't want to say it wrong, but it's just like a major part of it is basically God. Well, I'm going to just say what my pastor said. God is, you know, tired of, you know, us playing around with certain stuff, you know, and it's either you're going to do what's right or you're just not going to do it at all. And that's where I'm at, even with my finances, because, you know, I like to spend money. I like electronics. I like makeup. I love lipstick. You know, and those are one of the things, you know, I struggle with. And then on top of that, you know, just, you know, my other daily stuff besides work and my business, real estate, you know, and there's a lot of deadlines that go along with it. So that's just something that yeah.
Okay.
At work, I feel like I receive a lot of whispers in terms of, you know, there's things that need to get done, and not necessarily not even right up my alley, but I'm just like, I'm very privileged in the job that I have. My employers are fantastic, and for some reason, I just feel the need to go over and above for them. They do the same for us. So, and I expect my coworkers to do that. So I kind of have taken on a role where I am just kind of like, come on, you guys, let's pick it up. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's do what we can. My bosses, they're great towards us. Like, I want to do everything to help their vision come true. So I've taken that upon myself to take on things when I see or hear or learn about anything new and that could take us to the next level or will help us out. I for some reason I just something in the back of my head goes, Rachel, maybe you should share that with them, and I'll let them know, and they'll hear me out, and they're
Fantastic.
So inclusive and respectful in terms of just in other jobs that I've had, because sometimes I guess age doesn't always parallel experience, I guess, or knowledge. It doesn't. So sometimes I bounce things off of them, and they bounce things off of me, or hey, look at this, or check this out for us, and I try to do my best to take it back to them and exceed their expectations. I don't want to just meet their expectations. I want to exceed their expectations.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Age has nothing to do with wisdom.
Correct.
And we're going to go back into the clip.
And change. When you are no longer doing that, that is your whisper. That is your whisper that I am supposed to do something else. I am interested in seeing what the rest of the world has to offer me. Anybody pretending to be anything other than who you really are, you will never, ever reach your personal potential. You cannot do it. I have known for a very long time that I am a blessed person, and that to whom much is given, much is also required. That you can't have all of this and not use it for something that is for the greater good. Your intention rules your life and determines the outcome. Every time it would happen, I would say to my team, well, doesn't matter, because every season somebody else was coming out. One talk show, two talk shows, three talk shows. There have been over 100 talk shows since we started. But every time, I would feel like, all right, got to step up our game. Got to step up our game. The way you step up your game is not to worry about the other guy in any situation, because you can't control the other guy. You cannot.
Okay, we're going to come right back in, and I want to know from any one of you jump out. I don't know if you've been listening, but hopefully you have. Who is the other guy for you?
I think it's myself. I'm competing against myself. I'm not, because I've played softball where I do compete against other people, and and in life I feel like there are other people that are going for the same job as me, but like if I can do myself some good, then I'm winning. If I just do something more than I did the last time, then I'm winning. Like maybe, you don't beat the other person every single time, but if you're exceeding what you did the last time, then you're still, growing as a person. So that's how I see it. And I've always competed against myself. And I think it's more like I push myself. Like I don't need someone else to push me to where I need to go, which I think is a good quality to have.
It is. It's fantastic. You're talking about self-identity.
Right.
You figured out, like she said earlier, your sister said, basically, you have to know what you're good at and what you're not. And so that's what you're basically projecting right now. Anybody else? Who is the other guy for you?
I would agree with my sister. I think it's yourself.
Yeah, I agree
Control
with
anybody
what Jasmine
but
said.
yourself. You know what I mean? I know where I want to be at, and I'm a pretty reflective person, and I take pride in that, and I know that I feel like I'm competing with myself. I'm competing with what Rachel thinks, where Rachel thinks she should be at the end of the day, at the end of the week, or in terms of my job, or where I want to be at in life in general. I think our parents at a very young age instilled in us, you can't control what other people do.
Right.
There's always going to be someone better than you.
Right.
And any, you know what I mean? It's not about them. It's about setting goals for yourself and within yourself and intrinsically motivating yourself and ending up where you want to be.
Correct. Okay, go ahead. Go back in. We're going to go back into the clip right now.
The other guy. You only have control over yourself. So it's like running a race. The energy that it takes to look back and see where the other guys are takes energy away from you. And if they're too close, scares you. So that's what I would say to my team all the time. Don't waste your time in the race looking back to see where the other guy is or what the other guy is doing. It's not about the other guy. It's about what can you do. You just need to run that race as hard as you can. You need to give it everything you've got all the time for yourself. For yourself. What I know is you got to take responsibility for the space you hold here. And understand that the third law of motion, which says for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, that is my religion. That is the...
Okay. I want to find out from any one of you that are you taking responsibility for the space that you're in?
I would think so. I mean, I know, like, you know, if, say, I was searching for a job and, like, I know you want to apply to, like, say I applied to 5 and I didn't get them, okay, well, now you have to apply to 10 or now you have to apply to 20. Like, I don't think, I know, I mean, my parents obviously want to help, but, like, I'm at the age where I need to start doing things on my own, and I, you know, can't always look back and be like, hey, like, guide me this way, guide me that way. Now at this point, like, the life decisions I make, they're on me. They're not on anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Are you taking responsibility for the space that you're in?
I mean, I feel like, again, it goes back to reflection. You know, you have to take responsibility for the way things occur. And the clip she mentioned, for every action, there's a reaction. I can't necessarily control someone's initial action, but I can control my reaction. And that's my responsibility, and that's responsibility I place on myself. You know, as getting older, it's not cute to lash out and be, you know what I mean? You need to be a reflective person. You need to be a productive person. You need to be a productive member of society.
You mean still acting like a toddler, right?
Right.
Tantrums.
Just being upset about not getting your way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's as you get older, you learn. You know, A, B, and C led to D.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's, you have to be responsible for the answer, the end result.
You're talking about compartmentalization. At some point in your life, you figure out what works, what doesn't work, and this is what I'll do. Mm-hmm. And so today, like every day, you may have some different types of obstacles, some different types of challenges. You figure out, listen, I'll put this on the back burner. Right. I won't deal with this right now. But if it's an emergency, you'll handle that as compartmentalizing your life. Right. So that's exactly what you're talking about. We'll go ahead and go back into the clip really quickly and
construct of my religion. And by that, I mean, I know that every thought that I think, every thought that I have that moves into action is going to create an opposite and equal reaction. So everything that I put out into the world is going to come back. It's the golden rule on steroids. The golden rule on steroids. It's true that as you do unto others, they will do unto you. It's already done. There's an energy field, there's an energy flow that I strongly feel in my own life. And I know lots of other people who do. You're either in flow or out of it. And if you're in flow, it's like this. It's like this. All the time. It's like this. It's like...
Okay. So I want to find out from many of you, like, are you in the flow? Are you in the flow with life?
For me, right now, I think I am. For my age, I think that I'm in a really good place. I was struggling a little bit once I graduated, but right now I think everything is moving smoothly. Obviously there are obstacles, daily obstacles, but right now I can jump over those obstacles. Like, you know, I can get through them and without, you know, stop and be like, oh my God, I can just right over them and get going and keep going.
So what are you doing to prepare for the future? What are any of you doing to affect change? You know?
I would say just planning for it. Just knowing that, you know, I think a lot of times people in their 20s get stuck in being in their 20s, but being in your 20s is just not be in your 20s, you're going to be in your 30s and your 40s, and you're going to have kids and families and all those sorts of things. So setting financial responsibility now, that's important.
Right.
School, it's not for everybody, but, some sort of
Skill set.
exactly, and honing in on that and maximizing on that while you're young still, because as you get older you get tired. So and those are realities. So basically working hard now so I can enjoy the fruits of my labor later.
Right.
So setting up a 401k, being financially responsible, those are all things that we all need to look at. And it's funny because my parents at 20 or so were moved out and all those sorts of things. I mean, I'm 24. I still live at home. The world is changing. So and understanding those changes and maximizing on the time that you have where your parents are helping you and setting up yourself up for the future instead of I live at home, so I can, and I don't have to spend all this money in rent and stuff and just spending whatever you want. That's not responsible.
Right.
You need to start planning for your future because things are getting more expensive. Life is expensive.
Right.
Where you want to be, is hopefully at a place better than what your parents provided you, and you want to be able to provide that for your kids. So again, being responsible financially and those types of things.
So you think that everything that you put out comes back to you? I'm sorry.
I mean, so right now, these are our prep years. Like, we're prepping for the future. So what you put into it now, you're going to see down the line. And if you don't put anything into it now, I mean, there's kids that just go out, party, live it up, not really doing much. But, right now, I know for me and my sister, we're putting our work in, and because we want a great life for us. My mom and our dad gave us a great life. We had a great house, we had a great community to live in, stuff like that. But I want better, I'm going to shoot for something higher than that in my future. So that's what I think right now. It may not seem important to us kids in college or doing whatever, but it is important to get focused now instead of having to try to get focused 20 years down the road and it's already too late.
Okay. We're going to go right back into the clip really quickly. Okay.
And the flow is in direct proportion to the center of yourself, where God abides, where universal energy abides, where the divine within you abides. How far you are from the center, from the divineness of yourself, from your connection to source energy, that which created you, is how out of sync you are with your life, regardless of what you call it. When you can align with that, nobody can touch you. Gary Zukov calls that authentic power. In his book, Seed of the Soul, he says, when your personality comes to serve the energy of your soul, that is authentic power. And that's the only real power there is, because you're going to lose everything else. I don't care how beautiful you are. One day, your breasts are going to sag and your eyes are going to bag and you're not going to be as beautiful. And it doesn't matter how much Botox and how many times you get yourself pulled up and how many hairdos and how many makeovers or what you do, that doesn't last. It's just like the most beautiful flowering tree. Everything passes in its time. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how much power you have, how high you sit on the Forbes list, how many times you make the most influential lists. All of that changes. All of that changes. But what is real, what is lasting, is who you are and what you were meant to bring. What is the gift you were meant to give? And nobody can take that away from you.
Okay, I'd like for you guys to reiterate on and just look back on what was actually just said, and how do you feel about it? About the life that you were giving as a gift.
Oh, definitely. I don't think that we should take anything for granted. I know a lot of people in their 20s are struggling, and your 20s are hard. You're finding yourself, you're finding what you do like, what you don't like, and those types of things. But we're here, we're striving, we're moving forward, making a life for yourself. And I was explaining to a friend yesterday, you're putting in this effort to see the fruits of your labor tomorrow. Not an immediate tomorrow, but down the line. So I think that definitely you put in your effort, and you'll get that back. You'll see it. It's just not immediate. And I think a lot of the times we're so quick for instant gratification and those sorts of things. But I think down the line, we're all going to prosper. We're going to see it. I think this generation, we're going to do something great.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't take anything for granted. I'm actually more thankful for all the trials and tribulations that I went through, because it actually made me stronger, more wiser, better judgment decisions, like you said, like what I will not do and what I will accept and what I will not accept. But I don't take anything for granted. I feel like everything in life is a learning experience, good or bad. And it just depends on how you decide to take it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How you decide you're going to push through. If you're gonna, like you said, like I said earlier, like either you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it, because if you stand on the middle of the fence, you're just breezing on by. You're not moving on. You're not going forward. You're just kind of just there. And I don't want to be in the middle. I want to always continue to push forward, because I know that God has put me on earth for a reason. I know that He has a will that has to be done for my life. And I'm just so grateful for a lot of different things.
Very true.
So can you, any one of you, and this is open up for, like I said, anybody, basically go into encouraging someone who's thinking about going to college or thinking about the future as a young woman at this stage?
Yeah, I mean, by no means am I going to tell you it's easy, because it's not.
Right,
Oh, yeah, it's not easy.
So, but it pays off. And then it's nice knowing that you are the reason you ended up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, especially with my mom, we've had such a strong womanly role model. She immigrated from Panama and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, seeing where she's been at, it only makes me want to do better, and those sorts of things. It's not easy, but you'll get there. You'll get through it.
So I have another clip that I'm going to show you. This one is a bit more livelier, and I think it was funny. And this is about dating. So it's just, this is debatable depending on who you're talking to. But I found it, and I thought it was funny. So we're going to show this really quickly.
1, 2, 3, 4. What kind of money you have? You look like this. You see this? If you're not bling, just a boop, boop, boop.
Because I just give too much money away to myself on my shopping sprees. What designers do you like? It's all about me at the end of the day. But you're kind of cute.
I have 100,000 followers on Snapchat. You're not on Snapchat? Ooh, wait, I need to take a... Oh, hold on. I have 50,000 followers, sweetheart. How many do you have? Excuse me while I take a picture for my fans. Just 1 moment. Yes, please follow me on Tumblr. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Snapchat.
Does this ring bother you?
So, I am married to Jesus. Do you love Jesus? Do you have premarital sex? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. So it's like, oh my God. So what is up?
My dad didn't come back. When he left, he just didn't come back, and then I was just so emotional about it because it made me so sad. Because I was so sad when he left me.
Yo, come here for a second. I'm digging shorty back there, though. You know what I'm saying? If you could be my wingman.
So basically, I wanted to get feedback from you, because most of you are probably dating at this point, and that is another area about women in the 21st century. So I thought that was pretty cool. I saw that. And what are your thoughts? Comments?
Well, I could say the whole social media thing, like, say like I meet someone out on the streets or whatever, they judge you by your social media. Like, that's the first thing I think. It's not even like what they see like in front of them. It's what's on social media these days.
The material
Twitter,
stuff.
Instagram, Facebook. Like, I know so many people. I mean, like, there's Tinder now, you know. People go on Tinder and say, like, they see a picture of you. They'll go look you up on every social media possible.
Wow.
That's how it is these days. So, like, basically you're dating someone by just, like, looks and how you portray yourself on social media. But, like, in a relationship, face to face, it's completely different than what it is on the internet.
Things have obviously changed.
Yeah, no,
It's changed a lot. It's changed so much.
This guy was shocked that I didn't Google him, and I was like, but why would I Google you? That's so weird.
Wow, he said
Really?
Google me.
And then I was like, lucky after, I was like,
Maybe I should have Googled him.
Yeah, he probably got a warrant or something.
Oh my goodness.
For me, I'm actually engaged.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm looking to be married probably by the end of this year. Just with that alone, it's awesome because you're always constantly learning the other person.
Right.
And they're learning you as well.
Yeah, and they're learning me as well.
Right,
The good times, the bad times.
Yes.
And, you know, it's never a dull moment with him. His name is Marquise. But there's never a dull moment with him. And the fact that our relationship is still holding on so strong is because we both have so much love for God. And that's our foundation for our relationship. So for me, anybody that's looking for dating around our age, this is just my opinion. I'm not telling you to go off what I'm saying, but I just look for somebody that loves God more than anything, and they will love you in return. That's what I say. If you love God, you're not going to have no problem loving me because I got so many flaws, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I look crazy in the morning waking up. You know, sometimes, you know, I have my bad days where I'm sad or, you know, just a multitude of different things. But it's always great to have a good partner that loves God, loves his family, hardworking. Make sure they're determined. Make sure you guys have the same goals, please. Same goals.
Very true.
Make sure you're equally yoked, Christian and non-believers as well. Make sure you guys are equally yoked regarding anything, because other than that, it's not going to work. That's my advice.
That's pretty good advice. I would take that. I think it's very true because, like, I mean, you can't date someone who doesn't have the same goals as you or who doesn't want anything in life. Like, you guys need to push each other. Like, you know, you bounce ideas off of each other and you go back and forth and you grow as a pair, you know. That's what I think a good relationship is.
So if you're saying that a lot of I'm going back to the dating portion from the clip. So if you're saying that a lot of people right now, it's based on social media to date. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. It's based on social media to date. I mean, how do you meet somebody and it's not their persona? You know, they're not acting. Because if it's social media, I can be whoever I want to be.
It's very true. Yeah. You can't.
I feel for you. How do you get past that?
It's hard.
It's hard.
I mean, you just have to find someone who's really genuine. And
yeah.
I mean, it might take you a while, but once you find that person and
how do you get past the ulterior motive is what I'm saying. You know, how do you do that? I'm saying, what is like? Is there a checklist? Because we got some young girls who are watching.
Okay.
And how do we help them? You know.
Okay. So back when I was in my dating, right. You know, back when I was dating, I always used to get straight to the point because for me, I don't like wasting my time, and I don't want to waste nobody else's time. And, you know, that's just a big thing for me. So I usually just ask you straight point questions. So are we going to be friends? Or what are you looking for? Are you looking to be married? Yeah. Do you believe in God? You know, I ask serious questions. How's your credit? Can I see can I see your ID card? Because I ran into 2 scenarios where I was dating a guy and I did not check his ID because I believed what he said. Right. And that was not their name. That's not where they lived. That wasn't. So, yeah.
That's never happened to me.
No, that's happened
crazy.
to me. Yeah, it's happened to me. And that's such a scary thing not to know who you're with. So I always suggest that you do your investigating because you don't know who you're with, you know, and just like vice versa, the person doesn't know who you are. But, you know, I mean, still be respectful. Don't be all just rude. But for me, I'm straight to the point.
Right.
I think that's a good advice. The question I think that hit it on the nose was like, what do you like want out of this relationship? I think that's like honestly where you should start these days. Because you know, like I know kids are like, oh, like let's just be friends, like you know, let's do this, let's do that. But it's like, if I'm not trying to be with you, okay, then we're done. Like if you don't want to be together, if you don't want to maybe see marriage in the future, okay, then we're not a match.
Right.
So I think that's honestly the best question to ask these days.
Oh yes.
And I think there's also you have to be able to be vulnerable and let someone in too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we
at
can't
the same
have
time.
this hard shell all the time because we're mad about something that happened. And all that. You know, you got to be able to. If you're expecting vulnerability out of him, you got to be willing to be vulnerable as well.
Yes,
You
right.
need to give what you're expecting to
Compromise.
get. So just complete honesty. That's basically all I look for.
Okay, so what's a quick takeaway from this show today? We're going to sum all of this up, and we're getting ready to end. Each one of you, what is a quick takeaway from today's experience?
I have a quote. It's whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So if you think you can't do it, then you're probably not, like you don't have the power to do it. But if you think you can go to school and graduate in 4 years, like you could do that. All you got to do is push yourself. So it's all in your head. Like don't let anyone else from the outside come in and tear you down or knock you down. It's all within you. It's just, that's it, I think.
Yeah, I would say my takeaway would be responsibility for yourself and the things that you do, your reactions, the way you handle things, prepping for the future, those types of things. I think your responsibility, the biggest thing in terms of responsibility is you and holding yourself accountable to a standard where you see that you should be.
Okay, my takeaway from the show is like what Rachel and Jasmine said. It's just more self-care for yourself, learning yourself, learning what you would like to do in life, career-wise, relationship-wise. And for anybody that's listening, I just want to tell you, you can do it. Mm-hmm. There is nothing on this earth that can stop you. And don't let nobody kill your dreams. Don't let nobody talk down to you. And honestly, you don't have to listen. You really just don't. Always keep striving for your best and what you can do within your limits. And that's my advice to the young people around my age.
I hear you all, and just from a mama's standpoint, I will say that if you're in the house with your parents, you kind of do have to listen to them. But I will say, keep hope alive. Keep that dream alive, and do it in a respectful way. Do it in a respectful way. I think we as parents, we're always learning, and we learn from our kids if we're open to it. So if when my kids had a situation and they came to me, I was the strong arm, the iron fist. Yeah. And I had to learn over the years that didn't work. It didn't work in all scenarios. But then all kids aren't alike. So you have to figure out, and that's parenting, and that's a whole nother show. At any rate, I'm very grateful for all of you young women for being here today with me and sitting down with me. This is Tami's Corner. And tune in next week, same time, same place. And I'd like to end with Miles to Go Before I Sleep. That's Robert Frost. I love that. And Miles to Go Before I Sleep. Goodbye. Have a wonderful weekend.